Where should I be watching? YouTube or Facebook?
Wherever
Should
you
be streaming
like.
on all of them.
Wherever you like.
Wherever you like.
I'm gonna hop on.
I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna watch this
Yeah, I'm
on
gonna bounce back and forth myself.
and I'll be on the phone on.
See, all my cord homies go to YouTube.
I be watching the shows back. I really need to get a mic, y'all.
Yep.
Hold on.
Because it cuts you off. Then you can't. You have no ability to talk over us.
None. I bet I
Yeah.
get accents off.
Not yet. Hold on, let me paste this for you, Alicia. It's in Slack. Hold on one sec.
Oh wait, I see us right now. Upcoming event.
Boom. So there we go. We live now. Hey, in the building. I always forget to mute, and I always forget to change my name. So let's do it now. No A-Quil here this time to remind me.
Oh, I really need to talk to A-Quil too, because I be changing it on here, but then it shows up my full government on the Instagram.
My bad. My wife's reading to my daughter, and it was coming through the monitor, so it was gonna come through my.
Oh, the baby monitor.
Yeah,
That's cute.
We should do a
Her
children's.
in the corner.
Nice. We should do a children's book recommendation segment here.
Oh yeah, we got a million.
Do you have Who Flung Dung?
No, but I've seen that.
That book is the shit, literally.
I mean, literally.
And let me tell you, you get one book from me for all the kids ever, and it's Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. I don't care if you have boys, girls, bi, tri, genders, whatever. That's the book you're getting from me. It's my go-to book.
Nice. Oh man, my daughter's crying in the back. We're off to a rousing start. I can say rousing.
I thought something really childish and really immature, but I'm gonna not.
That's what we're here to do.
So I'm just gonna not. I'm gonna pass today.
That's what the people like. The people like toxicity. We're smart. We're all intelligent shit. We need more ratchetness.
Whew. You know.
My bad.
I've always
My wife was cooking and shit. She left the shit in the oven, went upstairs to read to my daughter, and then the oven started going off, like the timer. I'm like, yo, what are we doing here? Yeah, we live. We're good.
All right, cool. Well, should we just keep up our witty banter till a few more people tune in?
Sure.
Give them a few minutes because we're on time.
Yeah, they probably.
They usually they say 6, but it's more like 6:10.
Yeah, they're used to A-Quil standard time. Like at this point,
I like it.
well, 7-minute delay, something like that.
Speaking of A-Quil,
with his shoulders out.
he's got his shoulders out in this picture too. Look at him.
Shout out
Shoulders
to
out since 1980.
Hey. You guys, this is so weird. I'm watching us live on YouTube on my TV screen right now.
The delay is not bad on YouTube.
I don't know. I have it muted, so
It's not bad on YouTube. It's terrible on Facebook. But that's okay.
yo, I'm about to get a spicy margarita. I'm about to be spicy tonight. Gooch, you just don't know. Gooch, I'm about to find you a stepdad tonight.
I wish you can't. There's no open and carry in California either, is there? I wish we could do that here. Wandering around drunk is great.
When I lived in
It really is.
That's
I
didn't even.
that was the best thing ever. Just walk down the street with my daiquiri.
Dog. Slit. I mean, I assume people do it anyway, but
Yeah, it's just, but it's not open, you know, like you have to hide it in like a water bottle or something.
and it's like socially frowned upon. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm going to Vegas next month, so I'll do it then.
nice.
But there's only like 2 places in the U.S. where you can do it.
Nah, all of Wisconsin, you can do it. All of Wisconsin.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't even been there, so
Folks be getting lit. At the parks playing kickball. Like, fuck it.
What else is there to do in Wisconsin?
That's it. Drink and eat cheese. It's fire. I mean, it's not a bad existence. It's like Germany light. I mean, that's a drink beer and eat cheese.
Germany's dope.
I would much rather be in Germany with the beer and cheese. Just
You can drink on the train there. I do remember that.
Nice.
Which is
you
kind of
can
dope.
drink everywhere in Europe. Like when you're no longer in America, you can drink everywhere.
Yeah, it's like there's like some official rules for places that I've been, but most of it's like very unofficial. It's just like clean up after yourself.
Legal drinking age, mad low.
Mad low.
Yeah.
I think it's like 18 in Spain.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Spain was a good time. You were in Spain, right, Survival?
Yeah, I was in Barcelona in 2016.
Nice.
Yeah, it was dope. We stayed in the Olympic Village.
Also dope.
Yeah, it was very nice.
We stayed, I don't even remember where we stayed. I do know we went up into the monasteries, up into the mountains. That was interesting.
Yeah, I did that
All
too.
the Madonnas are black. They literally whitewashed history. I was like, yo, look at all these old ass Madonnas, man.
Are
Black.
you surprised?
Huh?
Are you surprised that they whitewashed?
No. I knew that going there, but it was still like, it's crazy. And y'all got it hidden up on a fucking mountain in the middle of nowhere inside like mad caves in the back of some 900-year-old church. That's where they keep the history hidden. All right. What else we got?
Gucci went to school today. He did great.
Okay.
He's really smart, and I'm not just bragging because he's my dog. I mean, trainer,
Yeah.
like he's really like he just you. She goes, you really got lucky. Like he listens well because he knows Mama will choose violence, so he keeps the peace. But we learned how to sit today. You know, mind you, he's only 3.5 months, so
Yeah.
he got sit kind of all right down. He's getting lay down. It's my baby.
Is this like he's purebred?
Absolutely not. His mama, and we don't even know we don't even know which of the poodles upstairs is his daddy, okay?
You
Oh,
don't
see.
know his daddy.
Nice. He's black. He's black as hell.
He a nigga. Like he's black as fuck.
See, that makes then you did get lucky, you know, because they can breed temperaments and shit, I'm sure, at this point.
And he's cool. He's so cool. Like he loved everybody. I met so many people this week because we out walking and Gucci, other dogs, and met an old woman last night. Her name is Nancy. Her husband died 2 weeks ago, and her dog's been really sad. She ain't say she was sad. She just said she was like, Coco's really noticed the difference. Coco's been sad.
And you were like, how are you feeling?
Are you sad?
Oh man. Well, he's trauma free. So his behavior should be good.
He is trauma free. He is loved. He knows he is loved. Everybody spoils him. People really see, I'm not a dog person. So it's weird to me when people come up to me and want to pet my dog. I'd be like, what? Y'all just be petting strangers' dogs? That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't. That's gross.
So you don't do that now?
You pet people's dogs now?
No, hell no. I still don't. I'd be like, okay, let's go, Gooch.
They're still, yeah. I'm not petting random dogs. Sorry.
I don't like random kids.
Yeah, I'm all set.
I don't like random dogs.
You pet kids?
No, sir, I don't.
Whoa. They're gonna have to save the tape on this one.
Yeah. Edit. All right. Well, should we get started?
Yeah, why not? You have something to do after this, so
Why not? I do have something to do, but I'm in no rush to get there. So welcome everybody to the Liner Notes Live. I am Alibi along with Survival and Alicia Nicole, and baby A-Quil is joining us from somewhere sunny.
Okay, shoulders out.
Somewhere dark.
Shoulders out.
Yeah, with his shoulders out.
Where is Joel's picture?
Joel, I
Joel's
would have
outta
had to
there.
use another device, and I
coulda-
wouldn't have to do that.
I could have done that, but
yeah,
it's all right.
he's fine. He's fine with.
Joel's good. He's here in spirit,
Yeah.
as is A-Quil. Yeah. So this is episode 25. Our big pun, capital punishment episode. Yeah. Make sure you listen to that if you have not already. Big pun, legendary, Puerto Rican.
You know what's really funny though is that we dropped that episode on Cinco de Mayo and not Mexican at all in the slightest. But I mean, that's the best that we could do. But like aligning it, you know what I'm saying?
We could have dropped it a week earlier. A week earlier would have been the 23rd anniversary of this album, and that would have been spectacular. But we're not that smart and savvy yet when it comes to those sorts of things.
Yeah, maybe
I'm knowledgeable about a lot of things, but not dates and stuff. Maybe next season. You're right. We can figure it out. See what coincides. So, gentlemen and lady, how was your week?
Start with you, Alicia.
My week was great, I think. I mean, not very memorable. No ratchet turn-ups this week.
Why not?
I was just a little tired this week. I had to lay low a little bit, but don't trip. I'm back on it tonight. Got an interview for Gucci Stepdad this evening.
The interviews continue.
The interviews continue.
All right.
Yeah.
Where y'all going?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't know where we're going.
Surprise.
She's gonna have a few more drinks and see where she shows up.
Or how I show up.
It's a good plan.
I mean, he's gonna pick me up at 8. Who knows what he'll get?
Hey.
I like it.
I like it as well. How about you, Survive? Go ahead.
I was just saying, clearly my Bartesian came, so here we are.
Here we are.
There we go.
Yes.
I like it.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed. How was your week, Survival?
It was it was whatever. It was I don't know.
What does that mean?
Are you still trying to get fired?
I'm not trying to get fired. No, I would never do that.
I've been saying that for a year. I've been telling people. I'll be like, yeah, my guy he's been like actively trying to get fired.
No, absolutely not.
Can't get fired.
No, it's not even. No, I'm just unfulfilled there. You know what I'm saying? I got my second shot on Tuesday, vaccine shot.
The streets are open.
Yeah, I'm ready. I don't know that the streets are ready though.
The streets aren't yet ready for young survival.
The streets are not ready. At least the places where I need them to be ready, they're not ready.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, week was straight. It's Friday. I'm ready to take a load off of the weekend.
Sounds good to me.
How was your week?
My week, pretty. I just worked, man. Like work is whack. I'm overworked and I'm underpaid, and that's just how it goes out here. Doing jobs for the rest of the country, like teaching their young people. So other than that, it's been cool. I mean, work's been cool too, but it's work. Ready for summer. It's been like the longest school year ever.
You know what I did want to bring up with regard to work? I don't know if Alicia saw this because it was on our little IG chat, but that wild CEO of the Washingtonian.
Yeah.
For whoever doesn't know, she basically took out an op-ed in her own. What is it? A magazine? It's some kind of publication.
Yeah, I think it's another newspaper.
Basically, ranting about people working remotely, and we need people in the office, or else she may consider converting them all to contractors. And it was just like wild.
She was tripping.
She was definitely tripping.
She said that there's all this extra work that has to get done. Extra work being like mentoring other people, like all she said
And just,
20% of your job is extra stuff, and when you're home you don't get to do the extra stuff, and all I could think about was fuck you, there's no extra work.
She was referring to like weird shit, like handshakes, patty cake, singing happy birthday at work.
Happy birthday.
Like,
man,
that shit's not work. That's not.
I'm gonna be honest, that's the whitest shit I've ever heard. Like,
that shit's crazy.
I don't know any black people that go to work for that. Like, I'm not showing up to wish people
at all.
like once.
So
I might eat the cake,
marrieds.
And even when I do that, I'm coming through like after the fact. Like, oh, we got cake, nice. Let me get some of that.
that lady's marriage sucks. So
yeah.
But I found it ironic, Alicia. So Joel had posted that in the group, and he said the lady took out an op-ed, and I was like, oh well, someone had to edit it, right? She wasn't gonna edit it herself, so she probably made old boy come to the office and edit that shit and then go back home.
She wants them all to come in or all to go on contract. She said when you don't do the extra stuff, you don't get benefits. Like, what?
That's how this works, lady.
Not at all. Like, pretty sure. Like, that shit's crazy, man.
Anyway.
Yep. So, yeah. All right. Well, moving right along, I suppose. My transitions aren't as good as A-Quil. And a little bit of transparency. I wouldn't say nervous about hosting, but
what does he usually say on his transitions? Is like, having said that, or
something like that.
I can't remember.
He
does a good job.
He does when he's not saying
his segues are crispy.
They're a lot better than mine, that's for sure. Go
ahead.
Anything else folks want to check in? Anything else you want the listeners to know about or hear? Anything else you got to get off your chest?
See. Kamala's tripping too. Everybody's tripping.
How we feel about
what did Kamala say?
Kamala said that America is not a racist country historically, and that's just a very inaccurate statement, but I'm not here for it.
I don't get. What is she trying to pander to? Who is she trying to pander to? I'm so confused. I mean, at this point, even white folks know this is a racist country. Like, what are you doing?
You're already in the. You already have the job.
You have the job. You could be.
They can't take it from you. Just call it how it is.
They can't for you.
Everyone wants to build and play nice with the other side, man.
You know what she's doing though, is she is, to Alicia's point, she's pandering so that in 3 years, when she gets handed the baton, she can run again and try to win. And then she'll have the dopey, slappy people, at the bottom who's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna vote for her because she said.
So we could potentially
racism doesn't exist.
12 years of Kamala.
Yes.
Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala. I hate doing that. It's a WWF in me. It's not. It's not her.
Rest in peace, Kamala.
Respectfully. What else I got on my notes? I got crazy shit. I mean, I could talk about white people all day. So are the Proud Boys? The Proud Boys.
Sure.
Are they the white Taliban?
Explain.
It's looking more and more like it.
I mean,
why would you call them the white Taliban?
I was driving to work this morning and I was thinking about, like, I don't know. I think I was thinking about the hostage situation yesterday here, or like maybe a school shooting or something. There was a hostage situation here in St. Cloud. But but I was thinking as I was thinking about that, it just dawned on me, like, the same people who complained about, like, the Taliban are turning into the Taliban, and just the irony of that, and how, like, in many ways that sums up sometimes how I feel like whiteness operates. Like,
I'm sure they are very, very unaware.
that they act like that yeah. And I'm sure they would say no, we're not anything like them. And I, maybe in some respects they're not yet. But I have to believe that like that's kind of how the Taliban started too. Just a couple of random dudes who were mad
Right.
that
Anti-government.
that the ladies didn't like them and
Yeah. Yep.
Alicia's like, I'm not touching that one. So
I am trying to get fired. I don't want this to be the route.
Oh, you're trying to get fired.
I don't want to get fired, but it might happen at some point. So this week, transitioning, I don't know how to transition out of Taliban to Big Pun.
It's very difficult.
It's I'd be the GOAT of transitions if I could do that. But this week, so this week's podcast, we dove into Big Pun. This week on our IG poll, 63% of people felt like capital punishment was a classic.
Feels a little low.
Think so?
I was gonna say, who said no? How many people said no?
There was 39 responses.
Interesting.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Which is solid engagement for we're not exactly, we don't pretend to be like a booming podcast at this point, but we're growing.
Yeah.
39 responses is great.
Yeah. I like it. I dig it.
Did both of you guys give it a classic?
Individually?
Yes.
If A-Quil was here,
yes.
he'd say we'll get there.
Okay. There you go.
I didn't want to bury the lead. I have feelings on that, and I'll let you know them.
We might as well just get into them. It's fine.
When are we going to get there?
No. That's perfectly fine. Let's go.
I thought it was a classic. So I think 63% is a little bit low. Alibi. What did you give it? I'm actually looking at it.
Yeah, you can tell me.
I gave it a 22.
Yep.
You gave it a 22.
Nice.
A-Quil gave it a 21, and Joel gave it a 21 for a composite score of 21.5. So just.
I think that's. How do we feel about that?
Wait, so it didn't make it as a classic?
Make it.
No, it didn't.
Did not make it.
Oh,
It's a silver medal.
If I had been on the pod, it would have made it. I gave it 22. It would have snuck in there.
Nice. I think it still would have been 21.75, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Real close.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So
close. How do we feel about it? Is 21.5 legit?
I mean, you can't argue.
I think
borderline classic, can you?
Nah, I don't think so.
But you shouldn't. But our DMs would say otherwise.
Yeah. 21. Where is he to defend it? Where is he?
Yeah, the two dudes who gave it the lowest score are conveniently not on the pod today.
Hiding, and we all would have.
So I'm always, I'm always intrigued, Alicia, what your scoring breakdown was, because we never get to see it.
Yes.
Before the episode, and it's always a surprise.
It's like a big reveal.
Yeah, it is a big reveal. Where do you want to start? In terms of your breakdown?
Well, I would say with impact, actually, because I don't think on the podcast you even gave the impact of this really even a tenth of what it really was. When I think about this, you guys think about Still Not a Player. Before that, when have you heard a street ass rapper be on a Kia commercial? Be like, that song is everywhere to this day. To this day, you cannot escape that song. That is Joe. That and the Power theme song are Joe's biggest hits. I mean, it's
not all the things your man won't do.
No, it is Still Not a Player, and they say this is the biggest. That's it. But the impact of this was, if it could be more than a 5. This album would probably get that more than a 5 as far as impact went. This was everywhere. I got this when it first came out. The impact was just huge for culturally. It was a huge impact. This was huge. This was
that's what I was gonna ask you next, Alicia. Like, how do you think, culturally it sort of crossed over? Obviously, Big Pun is not a like he wasn't a black man,
right.
but he was invited into a black space. He was, and probably still is, one of the greatest of all time. And he had a really, really short run. And we didn't know it at the time that he was going to have a short run, but like he put his stamp on the industry like very, very quickly. Like, as a Latino.
Yeah.
First Latin rapper to come back with a platinum plaque.
So yeah, we gave it all 5s. So we agreed with you.
It was you're probably right. I think there probably is more that could have been said about the impact. I mean, I went to a white ass college. This album dropped when I was in high school, and we were banging. I remember we were listening to it. It came out right around the time of our prom, and that's like, so like having that, being able to listen to both versions is still not a player. Like
full circle Alibi.
Yeah.
I went to the same white ass college.
Yep. But so that year on campus when I came in, I said that to say in the fall, I'm listening to it amongst folks that look like me, and then or in the spring, then in the fall, I go to college, and that shit was everywhere on like campus, and it was very weird because it didn't, like, Big Pun wasn't an artist that you would have thought about being played like in the whitest of spaces, and you could not go anywhere and not hear that song for a while.
Yep.
I mean, it's literally still on commercials to this very day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they will eat off of that song forever, like forever, as they should. It's a great song.
It is a great song.
But listening to this back, go ahead, Survival.
No, I was gonna say, I think we touched on it a little bit on the podcast. Do you think that his, like, the impact of him as an artist and musically, like, overshadows how shitty he acted in a lot of respects during that time that he was becoming huge? He was like a gigantic asshole.
We do that to everybody, though, right? I mean, how many of our favorite artists are divas or beat their wives? Or, I mean, look at the blind eye we turn to R. Kelly in the name of being able to step in the name of love.
Kels, let's go.
Yeah, he's been telling us for 30 years.
Like, he got away with it for a long time. Let's be super clear, though, too, because I don't want anybody to jump into this and be like, oh my God, they support Big Pun. We do not condone domestic violence. We don't condone pistol whipping your wife. We don't condone any of that. He is a shitty person.
He was wilding.
We don't, and we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't. I don't feel like we should have to say that. That's what sucks.
Unfortunately, you do. You have to have a disclaimer in 2021. Like, it's unfortunate, but
and to Alicia's point, we do it with artists all the time. There's plenty of like shitty individuals that make amazing music. I
mean, like James Brown. I mean, we can even go back as far as who got hit with the hot grits.
Al Green.
And then, that woman ended up dead that night. Nobody talks about that part. We only talk about the hot grits part. We don't know how she ended up dead. So this has been happening. Yeah, she ended up dead that night. So this has been happening literally for.
Then Al Green went to church. Fuck, it's crazy.
I mean,
he Ray Lewis did. Essentially,
him too. Yeah, exactly.
May not have killed the whole entire person.
Yeah, but there are lines that I do feel like we have to draw, and that line is Kels. I think we're all in general agreement.
Wait. Speaking of Ray Lewis, though, did y'all know that his roommate was murdered in college too? He came home and found his roommate dead.
Yeah, that I did not know.
Rachel Nichols is on All the Smoke this week. So watch Rachel Nichols is All the Smoke. She's another one, been in the league forever, been covering sports for 20 plus years. She covered the U fresh out of college. And that was when Ray Lewis was a senior, a 5th-year senior. He came home and his roommate was found murdered. I ain't saying this nigga's a serial killer, but I'm just saying.
the fuck? We're never getting a sponsor.
No.
Wherever he goes, murder seems to follow. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let me try to steer it back to pun.
I like this energy. I'm not mad at
I do too. I do too.
Third margarita.
What? So I think where we were the most divided, Alicia, was on concept. What did you give concept?
I gave concept a 4. So I gave lyrics and impact a 5, and everything else was a 4.
Got it.
Concept, okay. I went back and forth on everything else. Concept, I did end up rounding up. I thought the concept was pretty clear. I mean, capital punishment, big pun. He's out here. Number one, his street cred. I mean, his street rep precedes him. You know, while he was witty and charming on camera, we all know that pun was out there. He was in them streets. And then the way he was handing out capital punishment on these beats, I mean, he was out here murdering beats.
Alibi, that was your point, that it was a branding album. It wasn't like a concept album.
Yeah, and I think that was just I think that was a pretty big thing in the 90s, you know. I still think people do it now also, but you know, concepts in general were just they were pretty weak, and there weren't a lot of concept albums, and you know, so for me, I understand the 3. I have no issue with it. I respect them for taking the point. Like I probably would have 3.5. I'm around up.
Yeah.
It's pun. I'm gonna give pun the benefit of the doubt. Like
yeah, and Joel always says that. Like we lean towards like giving the half point to artists that we like, and then we take them away for artists that we don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I would
down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I wouldn't say all the time, but
yeah,
you know, Joel's welcome to, you know, defend it next week.
Yeah.
But I also think too, and I think this was brought up earlier, is typically, I'm gonna say y'all, because y'all are on the podcast, and I am just the guest who did not leave the couch. A hard one to just score in general, and I think oftentimes maybe we are harder on concepts that are really, really basic. Like this was a very basic, simple concept. This capital punishment. He's killing beats. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. Everything can be Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah. You know? And he's punishing the beats. And I feel like he did that. Like, and that's what it is. I'm not going to give it a 5. It's not like a dope. It's not extra dope. But he did nail what he set out to do. And as far as like a branding album, like we all know who the hell he is, you know, very clearly. And that's testament to his skill and, you know, his ability to make some timeless music, you know. But it succeeded, you know. And for that reason, I don't feel like I could give it a 3. Like that seems like if it whiffed, like nah, we kind of don't know who you are.
Did anybody give it 3s? Who gave it 3s?
Joel and A-Quil gave it 3s for concept.
That's so weird because I feel like he's Joel's second favorite rapper.
Joel's partial to fat dudes.
Clearly.
He's a chubby chaser?
Yes.
Find out, Joel.
Joel likes his rappers BBW.
Don't do it. We're not doing this with you today.
All right. What next category we got? Production? We want to go to production, or where do you want to go, Alicia?
I mean, we go to production or replayability. They kind of go one in hand in hand.
How did you liked it? You weren't mad at you weren't okay, see.
I mean, here's the thing. I remember when I got this CD when it first came out. And it did transport me to that time. It took me right back to 1998, except now I've lived in New York. So now I'm really picturing the Bronx. Like I still feel like that. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Boom Bap does not age well. It doesn't age well. Like it just, whew.
That was on my list of potential topics also. Why don't the hot girls like Boom Bap?
It doesn't age well. It just doesn't age well.
Why not?
What?
I don't know why. Why does cottage cheese not age well? I don't know.
If I fuck so, but I feel like that's because music's changed and we don't like drums and like I don't know. I mean, I still fuck with Boom Bap. I feel like
I don't have a problem with Boom Bap.
yeah, it's not the only thing I want to listen to. Like when I was 18 when this came out, it was 100% the only thing I wanted to listen to. Now it's you didn't like that?
I mean, I dug it. Like, don't get me wrong. By this point, I had moved to Minnesota. I was very much listening to a lot of East Coast rap as well as West Coast and down south. So I wasn't just listening to J Quick no more. And it was fine for then, but just listening back to it now, it just it just didn't hold up. It didn't give me that same.
What did you hate? What did you hate on it? Like, give me a track or two. Like production wise.
The Caribbean Connection.
You didn't like Clef? You didn't like Mr.
I never want to hear them rap again.
That beat is hard though.
It wasn't even that it was so bad so much as it just all sounded alike and then the CD is so long.
It is long.
Like I don't know. So I don't know if it was necessarily just the boom bap or it was the length of it and how much of it sounds so much alike. I can need to do what is it with Busta Rhymes, Parental Discretion?
Yeah.
I can have to hear that.
I didn't need that.
I can have to hear that. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
It was wild, yeah. There's like I think I said on the pod towards the end, it was just like, all right, man, I don't know if we needed all of these.
What do you? I'm just gonna bounce around to replay value. Do you get turned off by the amount of skits and shit? For that?
Yes. I never want you guys. I don't ever want to hear another album with skits. And I really feel like this is a very East Coast thing. A lot of these East Coast albums have these skits on them. I don't need to hear how many skits were on this album? Like seven skits.
I mean,
and they were random.
They were random.
They didn't fit in. Did we need both Pack and a Max?
Funk Flex interview was random.
That was random. We got fucking. We got.
Yeah, we did.
I never need to hear fucking on wax like that ever. Yeah,
Why do male rappers do that?
I don't know.
Why was that a thing? Nobody wants audio porn, man. Like no. I don't want to hear your audio threesome. I'm good.
Yeah. So production for me could have been a 3, but I did round up because none of the beats were necessarily trash. I just feel like Boom Bap did not hold up for me. It didn't age well for me. It sounded very dated. And it was long as fuck.
It was. And I would agree in terms of I don't think this album aged particularly well, personally either. Not because it's like it doesn't necessarily sound old, but I just feel like it just don't fit as much. Like some stuff set enough trends or like were kind of original enough that they exist in their own bubble. Like this was like, oh, like we're doing boom bap rapidy rap.
Yeah. You just happen to be exceptional at it.
Yeah. You know. Yeah, very, very, yes, elite.
Yeah. I guess I should roll into lyrics, right? What did y'all give lyrics?
Oh, I gave him 5.
I gave it a 5.5.
Y'all, motherfucking ass off.
He could rap.
700-pound nigga, so that's a lot of rapping.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think, especially these days, if you're 20 years old, 19 years old, you may or may not be into lyrics. This dude rapped his ass off, and he was like 500 fucking pounds.
No.
He was.
When he died, he was 698.
But like, I just don't. So like, I am 160 pounds. Like my lungs are great. My throat is great. You know what I'm saying? I can get through all of, you know what I'm saying? Like my cadence. I don't know how he got through that with just being such a huge human. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always so rapid fire and
clear and so clear.
Just like you knew everything he was saying. It was great. It was amazing. That's a real like another accomplishment. I don't know how he managed that, like with his frame. It just doesn't make sense to me
At all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I think, in retrospect though, like being able to listen again with like older ears, like a lot of punching in, man. Like,
yeah
and I don't expect a casual fan to know that or like,
yeah definitely
hear that, but it's
definitely
like it is a lot of punching in.
There's no way he did any of that shit in one take.
No. But he wasn't spitting them 24 bars straight.
Yeah.
You could hear it even. Like I think I even put in the group chat. When I listen to Beware now, I hear it every time.
Yeah,
like,
they didn't have the
software to like edit that out.
Yeah. and I guarantee the engineer wasn't gonna fucking go do that every 5 seconds on some analog tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't happening.
Well, do y'all think that there's something to be said for like hearing a rapper who's like that hungry? Does that make you feel a type of way?
Yeah, I think that when I hear, because this is the album I expected from Cannabis. Like I expected this level of, because when you used to hear Cannabis
that's
a
bar.
Yeah,
that's what you expect, right? That level of hunger. Pun was like, I might not never ever get an album out after this, so I'm gonna show y'all for 24 straight songs that I can spit, and I love it. I mean,
and I think he had it. Go ahead, Survival.
That's it.
I was just gonna say Wyclef ruined him, but
Cannabis, yeah, definitely. No, and I think the other interesting thing about Pun too is in this album is he did the rapidy rap stuff, and then he went into some different pockets too, man. Like Still Not a Player is a very different pocket. You Came Up is a very different pocket. Like, the story Come Back, Punish Me, you know what I mean? Like toxic ass story, but like he gave us a different little pocket, you know what I mean? And we don't always see that either. Like he was versatile in that respect. He showed to me, like, if I'm going to consider you like an elite MC, I want to see you be able to do everything. You know what I mean? Can you tell stories? Can you rap your ass off and give me some bars? Can you do concepts? And do you have like a little bit of content?
Where was all this when I said that he was the more versatile rapper than Big?
No, I don't think he's more. I don't think he's more versatile.
I don't think he's more versatile either. I think
he's the better rapper just because he gave us so many different pockets.
I think it's flavor. Damn. I think it's flavors. You know what I mean? Whereas, and I prefer
Big, y'all. Don't jump on me. Hold on. Don't kill me. I prefer Big. Whew. But
I know what you mean though. I just think I think his style of rap is what I think I'm missing and I'm nostalgic for in general. You know what I mean? Like I'm not necessarily nostalgic for a Big style. Like I don't need people to go rip off Big.
No.
Yeah.
I just need people to be hungry and be good at rapping. And I think that's more of the prototype that I'm nostalgic for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's like very polished, very technical. Even if the engineers were punching it in, like he still spit the shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't take that away from him. And the way that I was thinking about it was actually in terms of like more instrumentation. But like you think of a classically trained guitarist, like very polished, gonna hit all the notes, and then there's some like virtuosos who are a little bit sloppier, but they do like amazing shit that you can't like replicate like in a classroom.
Yeah.
So, and he's more of the classically trained rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to Wiley in the comments. I think he makes a valid point here regarding Pun and his style. I'll kind of put my own spin on what he had to say. That I think that Big is more of a, when you rap, there's people that are certain guys that are like flowers. You know what I mean? Big's thing was a flow. You know what I mean? It don't mean that he didn't have lines. You know what I mean? But if you think about it like boxing, like Big was smooth. He's a big dude, but like, man, he weaving through the track. He's smooth. He's flowing over it, finding different pockets. Pun's a power puncher, man.
Well, I think too, Big is a storyteller, right? So Big has to rap in a way that the story is digestible. Big gave us the best stories ever on wax. He gave us great stories for a double disc, like the only double disc in rap that should honestly be 2 discs. Like, it's amazing. He can't give you a lyrical miracle because you can't digest the story all the time on a lyrical so I get that. But to see Pun be all of that on one album, it's like, wow, hats off to this, especially knowing now that knowing now that his run was going to be as short as it was. Like, he was here, he was gone.
Right.
And like, that's crazy.
It was
where I would disagree with you is that I think Big could do those things. I think he just didn't do them when it came to making albums. I don't think that, like, Big, I think, set out to make an album. I don't think he set out to prove himself as an MC. Like, Pun's album, like, you're looking to prove something. Big, we have all of that stuff, but it's on mixtapes. Like, you hear all his early stuff, it was punchline heavy. It was very direct. It was, it was a little bit of a different style than what we get on his albums if we're going to look at the whole picture. You know what I mean? It wasn't always the double disc, It was,
and it was also Puff's ear. You know what I mean? Who I don't really think he gets his credit in terms of
Puff is the cheat
just he's a perfectionist, and I'm not saying that executive producers outside of anyone on Bad Boy are not perfectionists, but they don't really have his ear, and he was a special talent, and he happened to get paired up with another special talent, and
and he made I think I made this point on Biggie pod. Puff made all the right decisions, man, like particularly regarding Ready to Die. So if y'all ever are bored, there's an OG version of Ready to Die, which is like the originals of what all those songs were supposed to sound like, and they sound totally different. Like, if you ever hear the Pete Rock version of Juicy, it's a different song, man. Like, Puff made all the right decisions, and part of what he did was he cleaned it up.
Yep.
Big wanted his shit to all sound like unbelievable. He wanted DJ Premier every song. You know what I mean?
Puff,
I can't blame him, but
and Puff put the smoothness to it, and he made I listened to the OG demo, and I was like, man, Puff made all the right decisions. I ain't even mad at him. Like,
I mean, just on that, like Nip said in that one of his last interviews about Puff, he said, who said Mo Money Mo? He said, I heard Big say that in an interview, but who told Big to go get the Diana Ross sample and throw it? That was Puff. Puff don't get enough credit for his ear. And so you're right. It is a very unfair comparison. Because, Puff is the cheat code, just period. Puff is the cheat code. Yeah. But if I want to just go back to lyrics really quick, and I find this so funny because I was the one in the on the poll who said my favorite song on this album is actually Not a Player, the original version, and the bar in particular. And this is why so I have one word in the whole English language that I hate with a passion. I hate this word. If you say this word, I cringe. And it's the word cunt. I hate that word.
He murdered
that
song.
Pun got it off. So fucking fire.
Fish tank pumps.
Excuse me if I'm being blunt, but I've been eating cunt
since Pimps was pushing
caddies
with the fish
tank pumps.
That's crazy. That's so disrespectful. It's so respectfully disrespectful. I hate that word, but that might be one of my favorite bars, most favorite bars. It's the liquor, y'all. I have a degree in English. Favorite bars of all time, like Pun.
And again, not to keep comparing him and Big, but even that rhyme scheme, that's big. That was Big's thing.
That's
You know,
big.
those triples, that was big shit.
But
Like,
be clear, Pun was very, I think Pun gave Big his flowers, even on this album.
yeah.
Like, so weird, like saying that's a pun, that's a very, very big-esque rhyme.
Oh,
Pun
yeah.
knew what he was doing. Pun knew what
Oh,
he was
yeah.
doing.
Oh,
Doing
yeah.
that, sure.
Nah, and everybody was biting that flow. Go ahead, Survival.
I've always liked that version more than Still Not a
Me
Player.
too. Me too.
Me too.
Always.
That bass line.
It's crazy.
That
I
bass.
You got the
drums.
OJs in the video too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I never saw the need for the remix, but now later down the line and seeing the dollars the remix has brought in for him, I understand it. Like whoever said, let's throw that remix on the on the album before the original, they knew what they were doing. Because to me at the time it was so unnecessary, but that remix is so necessary. It is so important. It is so impactful. But man, the original is so hard.
Well, that song is that's what crossed him over. That's the reason he did go platinum. That's the reason why it was probably, I mean, was there a better summer to be Puerto Rican?
I'm the Borak Yellow.
Yeah, I was just about to say like 2018. Yeah. No.
Going back to the previous point that y'all spoke on too, just the hunger and rap. I mean, I know I asked y'all that question. Like, I've said for years, that's what I feel like hip hop's missing. Like, I hate that there's just not, like, I don't feel like there's young rappers now that
because
just
anybody can do it.
Yeah,
anybody.
And every once in a while, when you hear somebody who does, you're like, yeah, like that's that feeling. It's a different, as an MC who grew up in that era, like that's how I feel. I know, like, okay, like this, it's a different feeling. You know what I mean? When you're seeing somebody who's spitting with that amount of hunger and passion and pain, it's like all of those things mixed together. Which is why I get
totally
frustrated
agree with you.
that dudes want to audio tune everything the fuck out. It's like, man.
I feel like 98 was a good year for that. Like especially with DMX dropping as well. It's just a lot of emotion, a lot of hunger.
A lot of good rap music that year.
A lot of great rap music that year, but like it was so much more difficult to get on in those days.
Right.
And you still
not that I'm saying like you can't snap a finger and do it today, but you can go viral by accident.
Yeah.
And plenty of motherfuckers do.
Well, SoundCloud made it so easy for anyone to do it these days. Back then, you really had to always be ready to prove yourself, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
they made it easy to record. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, listen to this album. It almost feels like Pun was rapping like he knew he wasn't going to be here much longer. Like, I have to get these off. Like, I have to show them I can rap. I have to. It literally almost feels like a nigga who knew I'm literally going to die 2 years after this comes out. I'm going to be gone. Like, I'm not going to have much time. So I have to show them that I have to leave my mark here.
I can see that. See, and I think to your point around SoundCloud, I think it's easier to record and easier to get music out. And I think that we have lowered, it's not even we lowered the bar. We just kind of, music stepped into this space where everything was accepted. And like for me growing up in an era and being an MC in that era, like everyone could not just rap.
Right.
So to me, Pun is rapping like a dude who has something to prove to all his MC peers. And you don't get that today very often.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you get a dude who you're like, okay, like he sees himself. It ain't easy to rap. And he doesn't try to, it's someone who's dedicated their time to this craft for real. There's a difference.
You work in a school. When is the last time you saw a cipher?
I saw one today.
Oh, okay.
Like,
but was it like a melody cipher? Like, how do they do it?
It like everything's Nick Cannon now. Everything's wild.
Oh, okay.
So it's like very like kids rap, but it's very like it ain't like when I was rapping this cipher. It's not like you're rapping. We're from the Midwest, so you're freestyling for real. Like it's off the top of the head, and you're rapping like for as long as you want to rap. You know what I mean? Now when I hear 2 bars, 4 bars. It's kind of like that Nick Cannon classroom joint from Wild 'N Out. Like that's kind of what they do. The whole point is just to have a bar. And to me, I'm like, well, that's easy as hell. I could do that like all day. You know what I mean? So
do you jump in any of the cyphers with your students?
Nah, they're terrible.
You should just bar them up one day. Just bar them up and walk.
I've rapped for my students for sure. But you know, that's the other thing. Like when you're rapping like Big Pun now, it's like, oh, that's that old school shit, and it's like, nah, nigga, no, that's them bars. Like
that's elite shit.
Well, and they do know the difference, right? Like, and that's the thing. Like, I just think it ain't respected. Like, you know, I look at it like nothing's sacred. When I was growing up, like you just couldn't, it was a sacred space. If you came in to that circle and you couldn't rap, you were getting boxed out and pushed out. And we boxed and pushed out many a rapper at fire drills. Like, nah. And you couldn't rap again. Like next time you try to come around and be like, nah, dude. You had one chance. On that first chance, you better get it right.
Spaghetti. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. You know. And as corny as it may sound, some of that shit is captured really well in 8 Mile. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the feeling of like all of that. That's what it was. Like, and I'm not saying kids today don't get nervous getting in a circle, but it's a different vibe. It's a different feel.
It's different. Like everything is so on demand today that you don't really have to.
They're out there though. It's just few and far.
I'm sure there are.
It's just few and far between. We wouldn't have a Kendrick if people it's people that do care about.
Yeah.
You know, for real.
I'm just saying that you know, the underground doesn't really exist anymore, or the underground has become like the super underground because the underground became what we're all seeing on YouTube and what we're hearing on SoundCloud. It was like everyone wants to do this. I don't know how to do it. The easiest way is just to go to the internet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So.
And there's so many motherfuckers that now you need somebody. You need a curated list in order to find. You know what I mean? It's just so many people out here rapping. Yeah. You know, which is you know, it's good and bad, man. I'm all for expression, but like a lot of folks just ain't expressing themselves. But anyway, let's not sound our age.
Nah. shout out to the kids and shout out to Pod. It's just different. It's just different music. And.
It's a different era.
That's a good thing. That's, you know, music evolves or it devolves and then it re-evolves.
Yeah. They do know it though. I had a conversation yesterday with some of my students. I was subbing for somebody and the students didn't know me. And so they were kind of like, you know, who's your top 5 favorite rappers or whatever. And then they started asking me about Lil Baby. And I was like, Lil Baby can rap, you know? And I was like, I like people that can rap.
Yes.
Like I fuck with anybody that can rap. I don't care what era you're from. Like skill is skill. Lil Baby can rap.
Lil Baby just murked Drake
on
one
he bodied him.
Songs. I mean, he bodied.
Not that that's incredibly difficult to do, but he
I was just gonna say
he bodied him.
Let's be clear. First off, no rapping ass Drake disrespect will be tolerated.
Look, he got all rapped on there.
They have murdered Drake. On that song, Drake came back on Lemon Pepper Freestyle and rapped for 17 straight.
He did with mad long pauses. Yeah,
that's fact.
That's his new joint. Yeah, and that's fact. Mad pauses.
Whatever.
Man's.
Look at disrespecting pun with a Drake discussion.
I do still find myself though, like even just listening to this. You know, I always say the podcast always sets off my music week because I start the music week listening to whatever the next podcast album is. And
where does that lead you? Where did that lead you this week?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you asked. This week, that led me down a great conversation about Biggie and Pun, because if we're going to talk about a fat rapper, let's talk about 2 of the best fat rappers ever in life.
Definitely top 2.
Easily top 2. Don't even know. Heavy is somewhere way in number 3 somewhere.
Yep.
But, it led me to listen to Ready to Die not once but twice.
Such a good album. How many times did you listen to Everyday Struggle? That's my shit.
Not once, but twice, but maybe 3 times.
Everyday Struggle is my shit.
I mean, and then it led me to Life After Death.
Yep.
And then it led me to Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt.
It's fantastic.
I mean,
it's a good music week.
You guys,
you went full 90s, but you said you don't like Boom Bap.
But
I know.
I'm those
confused.
are like the best. Those are some of the greatest rap CDs ever. Just period. Just hands down.
Exactly.
Greatest rap CDs ever. And it all started because this is one of the best rap CDs ever. I'll go ahead and say it. Like
why don't the hot girls like Boom Bap?
Yeah.
Shit's boring. I mean, 2 songs is fine, but 24.
It's too much. It's too many words. They don't want to listen to niggas talk
It's
for that
just
long.
a lot. And see, that's where you need a cheat code like Puff though. See, Puff knows when to tone that shit down, throw you a great sample in, turn up something. You know, that's why you need the cheat code.
I'm with that. I mean, I don't want to hear 24 tracks of Boom Bap either. I mean, I want to hear well-rounded, So I'm with that. But I think it's less than 2, man. I think a lot of ladies is out of there. They ain't fooling with a whole lot of Boom Bap.
No, because you can't twerk to it. We out here twerking these
There it is. Can't twerk to my darling baby.
That's that's auntie music. That's auntie music. But it's a good time. This was such a good CD.
It was
such a good CD.
So we set your music week off right this week with Big Pun.
Yes.
Seems like I'm going to show you my segue skills, and let's talk about what your music week's going to look like next week. Because I don't know if this one's going to set it off or not. I don't.
It's going to
be honest. It's going to start your week, but I don't.
Honestly, it might. I don't know where exactly you're going to go, but I have an idea.
So this week, we will be reviewing Ludacris, Red Light District.
And I like Luda.
I love Luda. Luda got some
you?
Y'all know I'm still in the club. Y'all know, look, y'all, we live different lives. Y'all are all
love
married.
Luda albums.
Look, y'all are all married. Y'all all have kids. Y'all have children, so it's different. I'm over here single and still out here. Luda got some box. So I'm not mad at Luda.
He does. He does.
Luda got some hits in the club. Luda will have you out here pussy popping on a handstand and
have you saying some wild shit in a wild voice, very loudly.
Luda can rap though. I mean, we act like Luda can't rap.
Luda can rap.
He can rap.
I don't think people realize. I don't know what y'all give these albums before the podcast come out.
Nice.
So I'm very interested.
Oh yeah, I didn't share that with you. Okay, I'm glad I didn't.
You asked me if I wanted to, and I
okay.
I said no.
I don't want you to be biased.
Yeah, no, I said no. And the thing is, I do have access now. Because I think you did give me access to but I don't look at it.
Okay, good.
I have not looked at it at all because I like having I had my 22 in my head before the podcast.
I like it.
I don't like when it's not very often, but sometimes like last week, I let the podcast sway me up a little bit. But normally I have my score in my head and I come prepared to defend my score. And if we just happen to be on the same page or align, great. If not, oh well.
I'm very curious about next Friday then.
Me too. And to get into a little bit about Wiley, I see you in the comments. You said Chicken and Beer is the classic. I think we get into it in a little bit in the pod, but there was some back and forth about which one to do. We landed on this one. I think partly, and I probably discussed this on the pod, but for me, I wanted to do this one because I feel like we get a little bit more range from Luda.
Mm-hmm.
Those previous albums, Luda was never like, yes, we know him for Club Dude, but like Luda did some different stuff on this album where it was like, oh, we get a little social commentary from Luda. Like, wasn't really expecting that. And he did it in a very Luda way.
Yep.
But to me, it worked.
Yeah.
So, just to put that out there. And I was not going to review Word of Mouth ever. I never want to hear that album again. I never want to hear me and my homies with the top back. Like, I'm all set. I can't do it, Alicia. I can't. You know how many fucking times I heard that shit? Y'all don't understand. Luda was everywhere for like
fun.
No, I can't.
I was living in Atlanta when he was fucking huge.
I don't want to hear Roll Out ever again.
What time that was? Wait, Survival. Let's talk about that. Because see, I lived in Louisiana, but so I used to come to Atlanta on the weekends, and let me tell you, those early 2000 weekend trips to Atlanta. Whew, thank God social media did not exist. Smartphones
out there like roll out.
But this is I was in the clubs. I was young. They let anybody in the club down there. But I also didn't drink. So
I didn't either.
I definitely did.
So I was just in there like sober, sweaty, elbowing people.
Just one of those.
The club is distinctly less fun sober. I can tell you that. I used to go sober when I did not drink, and it was
it's
like
different.
Hey,
it's a different.
It's really not that cool in here.
It's not.
Like bunch of y'all niggas stank.
Yep. Yeah.
Some of y'all keep talking about the same shit.
That's funny. I think your like your sense of smell just like wears off when you get real drunk. But yeah, it was. I had a sliver of sober fun there. Yeah. You know, it was
good time.
It was a good wild time. A lot of Luda.
Yes.
Lil Jon. You know, there was
definitely Lil Jon. Definitely Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher. Yeah.
Back then for me, I lived in Louis. So I moved in the Air Force in 2009 enlisted, and my first base was in Shreveport, Louisiana. So I was listening to a whole lot.
Oh, hey.
Look at this dude.
He flexing. Look at him flexing.
Where the shoulders at? Where the
Where's my baby picture?
It's there.
Where is my baby picture?
Oh yeah, it's there. It's there.
We can see you.
Where?
See,
you're on your phone.
It ain't coming through on a live. He's right. It's up here too.
Oh, is it?
Is it not?
Alicia, here you go.
We can see it.
Oh, we can see it.
Okay, shoulders.
Hold on, let me.
Shoulders.
Here.
He's right. It ain't coming through, but your picture is up.
Guys,
let me
take a picture of it and send it to you.
Let's really acknowledge this. A-Quil is on his anniversary trip. You know, we love to celebrate love and Black
Black love in the building.
There
Black
it is.
love and shoulder anniversaries.
Shoulders out since 1980, man.
Happy anniversary, A-Quil.
You dig?
Yeah, happy anniversary to you too.
Thank you.
Finally getting to get out in these streets. They look pretty empty.
In those Florida streets.
I'm in an empty area because it's too loud. But it was cool the first couple of days, and now they're down there, so it's time to go.
It's the weekend. It's the freaking weekend, man.
Huh?
It's the freaking weekend.
Nah, for the youngins, man, we old, man. We was trying to be on our old people vacation. It's time to go.
That's over. It's Roni Fest time, man.
Yep.
Roni Fest 21.
Hey, you got to stay with the mask, man.
Yeah. I mean, you vaxxed up. You all
I'm
good,
out.
man. All right, bro.
All right.
Have fun. Dope. All right. Well, I can't. We could keep talking, but that seems like maybe an apropos place to end.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm for it.
With a drop in from the homie. So yeah, next week, tune in this time, but also on Wednesdays. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe and do all that great stuff on all our socials. At the Liner Notes 79 on Instagram,
Please.
on Twitter, on where else we at? We're also on YouTube.
Twitch.
Yeah, man, we everywhere. We on YouTube with
hit the link tree.
Getting it up. Hit the link tree. It's in the bio. If you're watching this, it's in one of these bios. So tap in.
You gotta tell people why they should listen to this album, because they should listen to this album.
Oh, they should listen to this album just to hear some rapping ass. Shit.
It's historically great.
Yeah,
in terms of lyrics.
You ain't hear too many dudes rapping like this, man. It's a lot of fucking words, man.
It is a lot
of words.
I like words. I miss words in rap.
This nigga weighed 698 pounds at his biggest. And he is rapping the way he's rapping. Like, I just don't, and I'm not trying to fat shame or anything at all, but just that alone should, I mean.
We said this on the pod. He said, "Dead in the middle of Little Italy." Like that entire that all made sense.
Diddly.
He did like he wasn't just putting words together to put it like that shit made a whole.
I practiced that shit mad times in the room, in my bedroom.
One of the greatest storytellers, literally, y'all. One of the greatest storytellers, though, in rap, like street stories, fun stories, witty stories, lyrical miracle stories, like. Y'all know, and y'all have never heard me say this about an East Coast album thus far, but this is by far one of my favorite albums. I have no like.
See, that's not, you do like Boom Bap. See.
No, yeah. I like this album.
You like Boom Bap. You just said you listen to 5 Boom Bap.
5 Boom Bap.
I like this. I've always liked this album. I like this album in '98. I like
She's about to be listening to Illmatic next. Talk about some. I don't like Boom Bap.
No, no, not at all. But this album is so. I mean, you listen to it and you smile, and it makes you sad. It makes you wonder, like, what could have had he.
Yeah.
And it also makes you stop and think, though, because he was a shitty ass person. I can't get past that right now either. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, he has a son that can rap his ass off too. So
Little Punisher.
I don't. That's not his name.
He's
but yes, he is a Little Punisher.
Anyway, yeah, too many margaritas.
It's all good. So yeah, so hit us up on all the socials, like we said. Tap in again next week. Don't forget, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a bro, tell a hoe. That's how we get down here for Alibi, Survival, and Alicia. We're signing off. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
Cheers.
Cheers, bitches.